Hello and welcome to the Deep Dive. I'm Adam Mueller. The St. Thomas men's basketball team begins Summit League Championship play Thursday against South Dakota State in Sioux Falls. The Tommies earned their spot as the second seed after finishing 12-4 in the conference and 23-8 overall. Now, hunting for both its first D1 conference championship and a bid to the NCAA tournament, I'm joined by head coach Johnny Tower and sophomores forward Ben Oosterbaan and guard Jermaine Coleman. Thanks for coming in today, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Good to see you, Adam.
Coach, you have a chance to make history. How excited are you?
Well, yeah, when you put it that way, that's hard not to be excited. We've had a really fun season, 23 wins at this point, and I think the guys have just been awesome. We had a relatively young team. If you look coming into the year, really only 4 guys had experience playing a lot of minutes in college basketball: Ben, Ryan, Carter, and Nolan. And I just think this team has come together incredibly well over the course of the year. If I look where we were in November at the outset of the season and how much we've improved, they're fun to be around. They're good students. They're really unselfish on the court. They play hard. So, when you talk about the chance to make history, I think that certainly is exciting. But frankly, the day-to-day work, I've always been a believer. If you recruit people, you hire people who are intrinsically motivated, they love what they're doing, it's going to be a good place to be every day. And then the outcomes usually take care of itself. We don't talk a lot about winning. So even though we have 23 wins, we don't go into games saying we have to win, we have to win. It's more about the process and what we need to do on offense, defense, rebounding, et cetera. And in many ways, I think we approach the Summit League tournament just like that.
Ben, I want to go a little bit deeper into the experience Coach talked about. You're only one of a couple guys who has seen this tournament before, played significant minutes in it. So how are you kind of setting the tone for the rest of them, especially when you're going up against South Dakota State, who's essentially playing a home game?
Yeah, there's nothing like the Summit League tournament. The games are elevated. It's the intensity, every little moment that matters. But everybody that's been on the team has played in big games in high school or where they had came before. And if you're a basketball player, those are your favorite types of games to be in, are the most important ones. And you play your best, play your hardest. So I think everybody will be good. We're excited to be there.
Jermaine, the team started off with high expectations, right? Picked to finish first in the conference, I should say. And then you had a couple mid-season heartbreakers. But then just recently, Nolan Minnesala, your teammate, said the team is peaking at the right time. How so? What do you think he meant by that?
I think he meant just our togetherness is really coming together. I feel like we always find a way to figure out the things that we need to get better at in practice, and whether they're little things or big things, we always figure out how to fix it pretty quickly. And I think that's kind of what he was saying when we're saying we're picking up at the right time, and I just think that's kind of what he meant.
Ben, fans are going to be pointing to the NDSU game from last week a lot. You beat them by 22 points. You're the conference leader. What does that say about the team's ability to perform in big moments, or is that not a big moment? Is it just any other moment?
No, I think it's a big moment, and it's great momentum to have going in the tournament. It shows us what we're capable of doing, and I think for a while we played some of our best basketball we have all year, maybe the best, and we're going to keep riding that momentum into the tournament, knowing that we're capable of beating anybody.
Yeah, do you think that kind of showed how much parity there is in this league from top to bottom, that you can go in and beat conference leader by 22 points?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot of parity in the conference, and if you play well on any given night, you're able to beat anybody.
Coach, those 4 conference losses came by a total of 10 points. What lessons were in there that you can use in the postseason?
Yeah, I think those 4 games, each one of them taught us probably something different. And I think these guys are really mature. Even though we don't have the most experienced team in terms of playing time coming into the year, I think they've also learned from the wins. We've had some really close wins, and one of the things we talk about is valuing each possession. So while it's easy to look at a 1-point loss and say, if this last play had gone differently, or if the 37th play had gone differently, or the 14th play had gone differently. So it really, I think the best teams are the ones that really treat each possession like its own entity. And these guys have improved a lot. When competitive stamina is one of the phrases that we like to use in terms of just, can you put 40 really, really tough minutes together? It doesn't mean that you're perfect, but it means for those 70 possessions when we're on offense, 70 on defense, do we do what we're supposed to the best of our ability? Do we play hard, smart together? And that doesn't mean that there aren't going to be missed shots or turnovers or missed assignments, but it means everybody trusts. And I think this group has come a long ways in terms of their trust of one another on both offense and defense. And it's not that there was distrust at the start of the year, but it was getting acclimated to playing with new guys. And so I do think those losses have taught us things, but I also think throughout the course of the year, we have so many different analytics, and these guys are bright. So when you show them numbers, don't hide behind wins when the numbers are saying, hey, we're deficient in a couple areas. And the same thing, when you lose, doesn't mean the sky's falling. Like, the reality is, if you go 12-4 and you lose 4 games by 1, 2, 3, and 4 points, to Ben's point earlier, I think you feel pretty good. You can be competitive with anybody and win on any given night. But I think these guys are really humble, and they're acutely aware that we can also lose. And that's the beauty of March Madness. It's why people around the nation love it, because it is that one-and-done format, and there is a lot of parity. When you look at the teams in this league, South Dakota State, it's a home game. They're the third-ranked, net-ranked team in the conference. So while they may be a 7 seed, they're the third-ranked, net-ranked team. And they have a really, really proud program in the Summit League. And so I think our guys are just excited to play every game. And I can point to the last 4 years, we couldn't go to the NCAA tournament. And I watched the way these guys competed every single game the last 4 years. I don't think anything changes in that sense. We know that this is not the end point if we did our job and we were to win 3 games. But we're going to take it the same way and take it one game at a time. And these guys have bounced back really well, I will say, after every one of those losses, that while the sky isn't falling, I do think they took the messages to heart, and they keep getting better. And I think Nolan's right. We are playing our best basketball at this time of the year, and that takes everybody being committed to a single goal, and they're a lot of fun to be around because of that.
Yeah, I sit in a lot of press conferences, and people for the last 3-4 years, it's always that you don't have that full experience just yet. The NCAA tournament is kind of locked away. Are you just happy that, that's done? You're the same team as everybody else? You guys have that same end goal as everybody else? To any of you? I know you're a championship-winning guy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it definitely means something different when you win. You get to go to the NCAA tournament, and although you'd want to say that you play every game the same way, and we try to, there's definitely more motivation when you know that you can go to the tournament. I think that's every kid's dream, and it's my dream to be able to play in the NCAA tournament, and so we've been working towards all year. So, yeah, it's definitely more motivating and more intense, and probably a little bit more pressure when everything's really on the line.
Jermaine, what about you?
Yeah, I would say I would touch on that as well, and I would say it's more like a respect thing. I feel like before, you could see teams like kind of saying like, well, they can't go anyway, and so it's like a situation where like you said, we are the same as every other team with the dream of going to the NCAA tournament, and I feel like now that we have that opportunity, teams can respect us the same way. Not that they necessarily didn't completely before, but now we're all on the same playing field.
Yeah, you've had more of an expanded role this year. You're playing more minutes. So how's your body holding up? And then how do you make sure you're physically ready for these really important games coming up?
Mm-hmm. I think my body's holding up pretty well. We have a great athletic trainer who helps us out with recovery and making sure that we're taking care of ourselves after practice and after games. So I think focusing on that, especially being a player who is playing a bigger role this year, I think that's something that is super important, especially with these games coming up. I think it's so fun, and you want to be able to be at your 100% best when it's time to play.
Ben, I don't want to put you on the spot here, but Coach at the press conference also called you an unsung hero for the team, and also that you're a vocal leader. So what does it mean to hear that and have that kind of support from him? Or am I blowing up his head too much? Or
Put him on the spot.
No, I mean, that's a great compliment to hear. And I think we're all unsung heroes on the team. Everybody kind of does little things that go unnoticed. I think that's what makes Tommy basketball. Tommy basketball is doing the things that don't necessarily get in the stat sheet. And I mean, we're all pulling the same rope. We're all trying to win. So I appreciate the compliment, but I think he'd give it to a lot of guys on the team too.
Jermaine, a potential, we already harped on it enough, a potential ticket to the NCAA tournament is ahead of you. And all season long, both you as the players and coach, you say, we're going to take it one game at a time, right? Mm-hmm. But how exactly do you do that?
I think it's just sticking to what we do best and sticking to us and playing that inside our principles and not looking too far ahead or looking behind us and just focusing in the moment. I think if we just play our game and do what we've been doing all season, we can do exactly that. JT and all the other coaches do such a good job of keeping us level and not keeping us too far ahead or too behind. And I think if we just do what we're supposed to do and that's just being us, I think that we can do that.
All right. Thank you guys so much for coming in today.
Thank
Appreciate you, Adam.
Follow along at thecrest.news and follow us on social media at The Crest News for coverage on both basketball teams' championships pursuit. With Coach Johnny Tower, Ben Oosterbaan, and Jermaine Coleman, I'm Adam Mueller. We'll see you Thursday from the Denny Sanford Premier Center in Sioux Falls.